Welcome back to a brand new episode of Beyond the Bank Phillies podcast. I am your host Pete, along with my co-host Henry. What is up, my guy?
25 days till opening day.
Can't wait. Welcome back, by the way. I know you just got back from Clearwater. How
It
was
was
spring
awesome.
training?
Oh, dude, it was everything I thought it'd be and more. It was amazing.
yeah, yeah, you were doing a good job of posting on the Instagram story, which we all saw that.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm hoping because I got a bunch of GoPro footage and pictures and everything that by the end of the week I can have a YouTube video out. But we'll see. I'm not gonna,
hey,
you know,
anything would be good. You know what I'm
not gonna
saying? I
make
mean,
any
it's just
promises, but
hey
I
man,
have a lot of good content.
gotta cook
So
something up, man. Gotta cook
yeah,
something up.
definitely. Ran into a couple people down there. Got to see some of Gabby's family, so that was pretty cool before we started the games. And then we were at the ballpark literally every day, whether
Nice.
it was getting something from the store or just watching. We made it on the news because,
Yes,
of course,
sir.
I went down there in an Eagles jersey. So, so the guy asked me an Eagles question, and I was like,
Okay.
guess I kind of walked into that.
Yeah, set yourself up for that.
Yeah, right. But no, it was cool. We had a great time. That was my first time down there, so it was a really
Nice.
good time. I ran into these guys from another podcast, so we exchanged some information. So there might be a collab coming sometime.
There we go. I
Um,
think what's her name? Philly First. I think that's the
Phillies
name.
first. Yep,
Shout out to them.
Yeah. Nice guys, man. Nice guys.
Sweet,
But
sweet.
but yeah, no, it was a blast. It was a blast. We got to see some great games. We almost saw a walk off, but
Hey, what are you gonna do?
it happens.
Nah, that's good. That's
I
good, man.
forgot that those games can tie. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Of course, the Philly way ended in a draw, so it's all
yeah, of
good.
course.
Bases loaded or whatever. Ain't no big deal.
Yeah. Dude, it was 3-2. They were like about to walk in the winning run, and then he swung and missed, and everybody just dropped. Like it was so funny. And like I'm sitting there and I'm like, I really don't care like if we win or
yeah,
lose this game. Like it is what it is.
exactly.
It's spring training.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, like it would be cool to see that happen, you know.
yeah, exactly.
But
That's cool. Though. I'm glad to hear it was good.
yeah.
Hopefully one of these years I make it down there. I would love to. It looks like a good time and stuff like that. So, but it's good, man. That's what's up. So yeah, let's get into some Phillies talk. Up to this point, of spring training, they only had a couple games so far. We felt like it was important to get an update going. Talk a little bit about some games. They have a 4-4 record so far. Not that really it matters of record wise, but hey, I mean, listen, if you really want to get in detail of it, that's what the record is
Right.
right now, up to it. But I wanted to start off with the pitching because, to be honest with you, so far that's really what has stood out with the team. The
Yeah.
lineup's been okay. Obviously, there's been like different lineups each game and stuff like that, and some players have stood out well. To be honest with you, it seems like to me at least, is really the young guys doing a lot, other than the starters that we know are going to be on the opening day lineup.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes they just got to feel some things out and see what happens. And I think a lot of these guys, to be honest with you, are really just like not. I don't want to say cruising through spring training, but
They're going
almost
they're just doing their thing.
they're
It's
doing their
not
thing,
yeah.
and they don't want to get injured, if they're just swinging out of their shoes type thing in spring training.
Right.
Like you don't want any of that, which is it's fine with me. I'm not like really stressing about it, but as we get closer to opening day, I would like to see them get into some type of rhythm so they're not going in cold, for
And
the
I
first
I
series of the
think
year.
you'll see them kind of ramp up.
Yeah, hopefully,
Because
hopefully.
like so to give you some uh perspective on what the games are like.
Okay.
So I don't know what time lots open. They had signs out there at like 8 a.m. So I don't know
Yeah.
what time they open. But on the side fields, like the short field and the two mounds,
Mhm.
like you can watch them practice. And like
Okay.
there were a couple other than the pitchers, because the pitchers were throwing kind of how they normally would. I got to watch Painter, I got to watch Griff, I got to watch Sanchez, Taiwan.
Nice.
Um, but like you watch the fielding, yeah, I know, right?
And
Yeah,
also,
Taiwan, I know. Uh, but like you watch the fielding, and it was Bohm, Stott, and Turner, and like Bohm's like sitting like crisscross applesauce, like in the grass, like
yeah,
picking the turf, like he's 5 years old.
yeah.
And him and Stott are just cracking up at whatever they were talking about. Like they're just goofing
Yeah,
around.
they're just
Like
chilling.
when push came to shove, they were playing, but like it
Yeah.
was just funny. Like for right now, everybody's just kind of having fun. Like that real ramp up
Well,
for the
yeah.
season is definitely on the way, but it's cool to see them loose and having fun.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it is good. And like I said, I definitely expected to ramp up at one point, but like I said, as of right now, it just seems like the pitching is really what's standing out to people, and that's where I want to start off at. So, other than Ranger Suarez, we have seen every other starter in games up to this point. So you've seen
Yeah,
Zach Wheeler pitch, Aaron Nola, Christopher Sanchez, and Jesus Luzardo.
yeah,
So I'm gonna put out some stats. Kind of just I combined them all together of everybody starts so far. Combined with all these pitchers, they have pitched 11 and 2 innings total. They've gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, and 16 strikeouts.
yeah.
Um, I'll tell you something right now. Wheeler looked like his, normal self, you know what I'm saying? Like obviously he had to, kind of get warmed up and whatnot, but he just was throwing strikes as usual. Christopher Sanchez has looked phenomenal so far. I
Yeah.
mean, we were texting about it, the movement, the velocity is definitely there with his pitches.
And his
Er
control is all there
Yes,
too.
the control is all there. Nola looked okay. I don't even think I get to watch that game because I don't even think it was televised. Which
No,
again,
I don't think it
not sure
was.
why spring training games aren't televised
Why
for some reason. I
is
don't know.
MLB doing
I
this?
don't know. I don't know. I that's just
MLB, this is the MLB. Like you ever seen that Eric Andre meme where he turns around and shoots the guy in the chair and he's like,
yes,
"Why did I do that? Why did he do this to himself?" The
yeah,
MLB is like they're shooting down like all viewership and they're like, "Why will nobody watch our games?" Like that's what it's like.
yeah.
It
No,
makes no
exactly.
sense. I just have a phone set up. I don't care. I don't even need to hear commentators. I don't care. Like
Yeah,
I'll enjoy the sounds of the ballpark. I don't
yeah,
care.
exactly.
Just
Just
give
we
me
just need
something.
we need to see something.
Like
Please.
the social media teams are posting videos they're getting from the outfield grass because there's no
Yeah,
like it makes no sense. It makes no
yeah,
sense. I like listening to Fransky anyway, but
yeah. Me too.
sometimes I'll follow along with the excuse me, with the actual TV. Like
Yeah.
I'll listen to him and follow along with TV. Can't do it. Can't do it.
Nope. Can't do it. But yeah, so that's a whole nother discussion for another time. Obviously, where it gets
Yeah.
annoying. But yeah, Aaron Nola, seemed like himself. And then Jesus Luzardo. I mean, the stuff looked good,
I
man.
got to
I
watch him
can't
in
lie,
person. Watching him
dude.
in person, I was on the lawn and I was already a little buzzed.
Yeah.
It was like mid first inning, and I was like, this guy's gonna throw a perfect game. I was like, this is unbelievable. But no, so I
Imagine.
was thinking, and we texted each other like almost right away. I was like, he looks really good,
Oh yeah.
like
Oh
really
yeah.
good. And I think what I was gonna say about just all the pitching in general,
Hmm.
they're generating a lot of swing and miss.
Hmm.
And I feel like last year it was like Sanchez is one of those ground ball guys where he's not getting 15 strikeouts in a complete game, you know? Like
Yeah.
he's pitching for contact, he's doing all like he was generating swing and miss cuz we had talked about it because they were talking about it on the broadcast.
Hmm.
He I think it was who said it on the broadcast? Was it Kruk?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
So when he's throwing this off speed stuff and then he hits you with 98 in
Yeah.
the exact spot he wants, he blows it right past you. You don't
Yeah.
even know what's coming.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it's very encouraging, very encouraging.
It is, yeah, and like I said, like what we discussed, I mean, it's just like the movement and the velocity, and that's the thing. If like and he does well controlling it right now, but I mean, if he consistently does that throughout the season, I mean, that's all you can ask for. And I mean, we saw it last year too. And I mean, listen, I've heard discussions about Sanchez possibly being our number 2 or number 3, and
I've
it's
heard
like
that too. Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? And I don't
I
want to get
just think there's no way.
there's no way, and like I'm not trying to say this is a shot at Nola because we love Nola and
Right,
he's a
right,
good
right.
number 2 behind Wheeler. But I mean, listen, if Sanchez can give you that type of pitching performance, consistently throughout the season, you can't pass up on that opportunity to make him the number 2.
Right.
So I wouldn't hate it. But yeah, it was just the pitching is really stood out to me so far, and that's the thing. Like obviously we talked about it, like we knew that like okay the starting rotation was going to be good, we felt confident about that going into the season, and we were just worried about some other things, but I mean I'm not shocked whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
always trusted Wheeler to come out in spring training and be himself and get warmed up, and that's all he needs.
Yeah.
I'm hoping everything's okay with Suarez. I'm guessing he's probably going to pitch sooner or later,
I
but
have a feeling that it's the back,
hmm
if I had to take a guess.
yeah,
I saw him fielding some ground balls like on the side fields with the rest of the pitchers. looked like he was going through the motions, just like everybody else. He didn't look lazy or anything.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of hard to tell if a guy's injured when they're doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's the back. I think the back is going to be a real issue for him. I do,
Yeah.
and I think that kind of segues into something. If so, you have what, 6 starters right now theoretically, right? You have
Mhm.
Lazardo in no order, obviously.
Yeah.
Lazardo, Ranger, Taiwan, Nola, Wheeler, and Sanchez. That's 6.
Mhm.
If you drop Ranger, right,
Okay. Yeah.
you're down to 5.
Yeah.
That's a normal rotation.
Mhm.
But if one more drops, then you could bring up Andrew Painter.
Yeah, which I mean, we don't want another one to drop, but
Right,
I
right,
mean, at the
right.
same time, it's like
Or if
okay,
when I say
if
drop,
Painter's
I
ready by
mean
that time, is what I'm
either
saying.
either they're not performing as well as they should,
Yeah.
Taiwan,
Yeah.
or they get injured, or it's like, oh, maybe a guy needs an extra day off, or whatever.
Yeah.
Because watching Painter pitch, man, in person, that
Oh
was
yeah.
unbelievable. I was
I
standing right
Ooh.
up on the like right up from the mounds. Like I could
Okay.
see right there.
Yeah.
And I could look basically straight down, and he was the one pitching right there. That ball flew past, and I could hear it. Like it
Yeah.
was crazy, man.
Yeah.
It was so cool. But but yeah, like I think they're gonna figure out a way to bring him up at some point. I do.
Yeah, I
'Cause I
believe it.
think you keep a guy down there too long, it's
What's the thing? It's just like the most important thing is like, okay, is this, the right time? Is he
yeah,
ready? All that other stuff that, they're gonna obviously look into and make sure is complete. That's the most important thing. You know what I'm saying? Just
yeah,
if he's ready and prepared and he's fully healthy. That's all we can
yeah,
ask for. And we'll have full confidence, but obviously he'll have to feel his way into, pitching in the big league, real time, real game time and stuff like that. So
right.
um but yeah, I mean, let's say, like I said with Suarez, it's like hopefully it's nothing too serious. If it is the back, then it's like okay, it's something they're gonna to watch out for. Because obviously that affected him a lot last year. And I mean, listen, Taiwan, man, good guy. Just I don't touch. I don't want him touching the rosters here. I really don't. Like
There's no way they keep him off, dude. There's no
I
way.
know.
He gets
And you
paid
know what?
18 million a year.
I know,
That's
but it's
bad business.
I know, but like it's just I don't know, man.
I get your point, but they're gonna have to if you don't make the 40 man, they're gonna have to cut him completely.
No, I know, and I mean, listen, if this Suarez thing does continue to, carry over into the regular season, they do have to like start him off on like the IL or something or whatnot. Then I guess you will have to call
Yeah,
Taiwan. But
but that didn't help him last year.
no, I know. But if it's
I
needed
just
to be, then it's gonna have to be. So I don't know. But yeah, so starting pitching, phenomenal so far up to this point. Hopefully they keep it up and they get out of there, with no injuries. Knock on wood.
yeah,
So I'll move over to the bullpen. We saw some guys. We saw Orion Kirkering, Jordan Romano, Alvarado, Matt Strom, and Jose Ruiz have all gotten reps and have looked really good. Romano had a rough inning the other day, but he did have some promising moments in some other another game beforehand.
yeah,
He looked okay or whatever in the one game, and
yeah.
then the
Oh,
next game
on
it was like rough.
Thursday's game, he looked good. Fridays,
Yeah,
it was
it was
a little
a little
iffy.
dicey.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
into some
Or
situations. It was like
Saturday, it was iffy.
yeah, it was just like
I
it was a
can't
little
keep
dicey.
track
Just
anymore. There's so many games. It's
yeah,
like,
and everything. It just seemed like with him, it was like everything was like pulling a little bit to the far like whatever
uh,
like he's going up against a lefty, he's like pulling it right, pulling it left.
yeah,
It's like it
yeah.
was just kind of like it was weird.
He's afraid to go like to the inside of the plate.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I mean, most of the bullpen looked pretty decent though. I mean, Jose Alvarado, I mean, he looked, pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously seen him slim down over the offseason,
I
but
was just about to say, I think he's in the best shape he's been as a Philly,
yeah, I mean, I
honestly.
hope
Like,
so.
yeah, I I'm I was very impressed by him so far, and I know we have in the rundown the stat that he touched 101.3.
Yep.
Um, that was unbelievable, And it's
Yeah.
like to him, see, a lot of these guys go through the motion stuff. With him, it seems like every time he goes on the mound, no matter where it is, he's at Citizens Bank Park every time,
Yeah.
like
No,
without
yeah,
fail. So he's an intense guy, but I think he's gonna take a step forward this year from last year. So
for sure. Yeah, like I said, Matt Strahm, we saw Jose Ruiz. He looked pretty decent in some of his outings. And I mean, he was good for us last year, and hopefully if he can make the roster this year for us, I mean, he could be a sneaky good arm for us. You know what I'm saying? A guy who's familiar with the clubhouse and whatnot. So, which is
Definitely.
good. It's obviously not like another guy coming in and trying to get comfortable. And then also I didn't put him on the rundown. He started one of the games for us, and I don't know if he's gonna have a chance to make the roster, and if he does, he'll probably go into the bullpen. But I think is it Joe Ross?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we got him in the offseason, and he looked.
Former World Series champion with Washington, by the way.
I mean, hey, bring some vet experience in there. But yeah, he looked pretty decent as well. So we'll see what happens with him. But like so far, so good with the bullpen. Like I said, some shaky moments, and hopefully Romano, it's like that one little moment. It's like okay, kind of had to get it out of the way, type
Yeah.
of thing, and
It's spring
we can kind of
training.
get
I'm
back to
not
it. Yeah,
overly
exactly.
concerned. What do you think Tyler Phillips' role in this team will be? Or do you think he'll be in AAA?
I think he's gonna start at AAA.
Okay.
And I texted you this. I mean, like, I love Tyler Phillips, and I really
Yeah.
want to see him succeed and be a jolt for this team and be important. But it just seems like there it gets to a certain point of the game where it's like he kind of just like loses it for a second, and it kind of gets
Yeah.
out of control. And not that like I don't think he loses like his confidence or anything like that, but it just seems like he thinks he's going to hit a spot and he doesn't, and it just kind of leaves it over the plate too much. And that's some stuff that we saw last year. They brought up the one moment of the season when he had that complete game shutout against Cleveland,
Yeah.
and then the very next start that he had against Seattle, he didn't
Yeah.
even make it through the first inning.
Yeah. Right.
So it was just like it seemed like his confidence is there and all that, and he has a great attitude. He's competitive. He's talked about it before, but it just seems like he starts like missing his spots, and then he's leaving balls over the plate that are people are just hitting out of the ballpark or hitting doubles. So
Yeah.
hopefully he works through it and gets to that point where it's like he can consistently hit his spots.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think he loses confidence, like you said. I think it's
Mhm.
just like he panics just a little bit, you
Yeah,
know. He tries to overcompensate, in my opinion.
yeah,
I
exactly.
just want to get your thoughts on him because he did start one of the games, I believe, and I think he'll start in AAA. I think that's
Yeah,
what's going to end up happening. But
yeah, exactly. And if he can get some work down there, that's fine.
right, right,
Um, so also want to talk about one of the people that we spoke about on the last episode, Koyo Aoyogi. I think I got it,
we're
down this
trying to get
time.
this right.
Yeah,
We're
we're
trying
trying.
to get this right, man.
Bear
We're
with
really
us. I
trying.
mean,
I
come on
know
now.
it's tough. It's tough.
But
I wish I could have heard how they announced it at the game to make sure I got it right, but you
yeah,
couldn't really hear it.
no,
So I was just like, you know what?
yeah,
It's fine.
all good. We'll get it down eventually. So yeah, he made a relief appearance the other day against Boston. His final stat line was he gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Rough outing for him, but I did say I would give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, his first like real like, appearance, with the Phillies, in the league. It's like he had to be nervous. Like I couldn't even imagine, the nerves that he had
Oh my gosh,
going
yeah.
into there. Um,
Absolutely.
and yeah, it was a little rough, but I will say there were some positive signs in his outing. I mean, the final two batters that he went against, he struck out. So there
Right.
was some stuff there that you saw.
Take some time to
Some
settle in, maybe.
yeah, some
Yeah.
settle in. The movement on the ball looked okay at certain points, but other than that, it seemed like the way his delivery is. It's like if he can, he already has that, but then if he can locate his his pitches, it's like that can really mess with a batter. And I'm hoping it gets better.
It's an odd arm slot for him, to
It
be
is.
honest.
It's a very odd one.
It's not quite Sean Mania, but like
No,
it's not quite just past your ear. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm like I said, I'm hopeful for the guy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm hoping he succeeds because obviously he's taking a step out of his box and trying to make it in the big leagues and make it as a good relief pitcher for us possibly. So like I said, it was a rough outing, but like I said, there was positive signs there, which at first it was like getting a little annoying. I'm like, man, this guy can't hit his spots, and then it's like, okay, there's some sign,
Yeah.
he's hitting his, got some speed on the ball, a little bit. So
Right.
but it was cool to see because when Thompson came out and took him out of the game, he's very appreciative of the moment. I feel like and the
Definitely.
opportunity. So and
Definitely.
he showed that appreciation and he had a smile on his face and stuff like that. So that was
Yeah.
good to see.
Yeah. Yeah. He did look decent. I was fairly pleased with what I saw. Like,
Yeah,
aside from the runs and stuff, it's just that stuff's gonna happen.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I think in his next couple appearances, he'll really start to clean it up. And I think he
Absolutely.
has a good shot at making the roster this year.
That's what I'm saying. Like I said, it's really gonna be interesting to see the last couple of spots of that bullpen. Like we know that like Kirkering's gonna be there, Sham's gonna be there, Alvarado's gonna be
Alvarado's gonna be
there,
there. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Jose Ruiz I feel like is gonna be there.
Yeah, he's more uh penciled in than on the fringe, I would say.
Yeah,
Like I think he's right now the last guy with a guaranteed spot in the
probably.
bullpen,
Yeah,
in my
probably
opinion. Like if I had to pick 5 guys and list it in confidence, he'd be number 5.
for sure.
Like
Yeah, I
for
agree.
the bullpen.
I agree. So it's gonna be interesting to see, and hopefully, listen, the back end of the bullpen can hold up well. So we'll see.
Maybe he can do it in the playoffs. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice. So before we get into talking about some of the offensive side of things, let me shout out our friends at Philly Goat. As we look ahead to the 2025 season, make sure you are prepared with new Philly sports gear. Go to website phillygoat.com to get new Philly sports merch and use the code BTBPod for 10% off your next order. Beyond the Bank is proud to be an affiliate with Philly Goat. As always, go Phils.
Go
Tripping up my
Phils.
words here, man. Jeez.
Yeah,
I need to
I know
lock
it
in, man.
happens. Yeah,
I need to
yeah,
lock in. It's the
yeah.
off day. No baseball today.
I would be wearing a Philly Goat shirt right now, but this is one I got in spring training, so I feel like I had to wear
Yeah,
this.
you had the rep, but
Yeah.
it's all good. But yeah, like I said, the off days throw me off right now. So no baseball today. It was annoying.
Yeah, yeah. There's no baseball. There's no baseball tomorrow either.
What Phillies baseball?
Yeah.
No, there is.
2 whole off days. There's not.
Yeah, they play the Yankees tomorrow, 105. I swear they do. Yeah, the
I don't
fourth,
think
right?
so.
Tomorrow's the fourth. Yeah,
I I think you might be wrong because what Fransky said it was 2 whole off days.
I see Tuesday, March 4th, 105
Oh, that's weird. Oh,
on
well,
MLB app.
guess he's wrong.
Hopefully,
Who
hopefully,
knows?
hopefully. I
Come
need
on,
to
Fransky, get it together.
yeah, shout out to
Jeez.
Fancy. Come on. So yeah,
Lock in.
let's get a little bit discussion going with the offense side of things. So over these last couple of games so far, Thompson has made some moves with the lineup. So it seems like he's been testing out different things. So we've seen like Turner has batted leadoff. Schwarber, he's tested first base.
Yeah.
Harper, he was in the two
Seeing that in
spot.
person was weird.
Yeah, probably very weird. Yeah, Harper was in the two spot. And Sosa, he's played some outfield, including left and center field. So you saw a little bit of that, in the defensive side. But at least, like I said with the offense, lineup, Turner being at 1, Harper at 2, which was good to see. Things that we could possibly see in the regular season. So I want to get your thoughts on, those type of lineups that you saw the last couple of games.
I like Harper in the 2 spot, and if you have Schwarber in the cleanup, just so you go, right, left, right, left.
Yeah,
I think you put Bohm in the 3 hole. That's
yeah, I agree.
and then you have Casty 5, and then I guess what Stott. I don't
6,
even know. Yeah, Stott 6, and then
JT.
7, 8, 9. Well, yeah. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
true too. No, you probably have Stott then JT 7th,
Okay.
and then Marsh Rojas.
Which, by the way, JT was on the broadcast doing the interview, and he said he's feeling completely healthy. So
Oh, good.
I'm gonna
Good.
take his word for it. So
Yeah, yeah.
healthier
That's
than
a
last
guy.
year.
That's a guy that knows his body. I trust him when he says he's healthy.
Exactly.
I trust him.
Exactly.
But no. I think that's my, and we'll have like a predictions pod, I'm sure, at some
Yeah,
point,
yeah, yeah.
and all that good stuff. But that's my ideal lineup personally, provided Marsh and Rojas are both starting.
Yeah.
Because you have Kepler in there too now.
Which we saw some promising things from him too as well.
Yes, yeah, a
First couple
couple
of games.
RBIs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He already did more for the Phillies than Austin Hayes did the whole time he was here. So
Yeah. Which, by the way, Austin Hayes hitting 2 homers in one game.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
kinda
Only had 2 homers as a Philly, but that's fine.
It's comical. But anyway.
Yeah, ridiculous. But either way, I like the idea of having Harper at 2 and having Turner lead off. I understand the Schwarber leadoff thing, and I've never been a guy that was super opposed to that.
Yeah.
Especially like as of recently, I've never been super opposed to that.
Yeah.
But I could see the reason for moving him.
for
Um,
sure.
I can also see the reason for keeping him there. So it really depends, you know.
It does, and Schwarber spoke about it, saying that like he doesn't care where he is in the lineup. Like he's gonna do his thing, he's gonna hit or whatever. He's gonna do whatever it takes to help the team win.
Right.
Which that's why we love Schwarber and definitely deserves the extension, in my opinion.
I think he'll get the extension. They're saying that JT's like it's imminent that he's going to get one.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
I
don't
don't.
know.
Yeah, that's a whole another discussion. I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah. So it is interesting to see with the lineups that he's tested out so far. Like I said, I agree. I would like to see Harper in the 2 spot. Turner at 1. Hopefully Turner can just get back to that Trey Turner that we know
350,
before we signed him.
320. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Wasn't really happy with the one at bat hit the other day against Boston. And, bases loaded and strikes out. It's like those are the moments where I want to see him come through. And like I know it's
Yes.
spring training, whatever, but it's just like don't listen. That's fine, strike out now, but I want to see you, bringing some runs during that at bat. But
Right.
that's just me being picky, of course. But yeah, like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see how he sets the lineup, come regular season. But and obviously he's probably still gonna test out some other things, the rest of spring training, during these all other games as well. Um, it's interesting to see Sosa in the outfield, and to be honest with you, he did pretty okay for the most part.
He's a glue guy. He's a
He
glue guy.
is,
I think you have to get him where you can fit him.
oh for sure.
That's my big thing. Like I think last year when he subbed for Trey and he did
Hmm.
so good, it was like, all right, cool. We were able to get him on the field.
Yeah.
I think he's a guy that he's kind of like a what's the guy on the Angels? Renhefo.
Hmm.
Renhefo, like their
Leash-like.
utility guy.
Yeah.
He's like a super utility guy, which I think that word is so funny.
Hmm.
But that almost like you want him to play like almost 50 games a year. You know what I mean? So
For sure.
I think that if you can get him working the outfield and you can figure that out, that's going to open a lot of opportunities for him.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was funny. I think it was might have been the recent game that they played, but I think he was in like left field and he like chased down a ball that like the center field was technically supposed to get and like kind of like stepped in front of him. And I was like, oh, like he kind of like came into the camera shot. I was like, whoa, okay. Like, so
Yeah.
it was like, hey man, like I think the center fielder
It's
had
like
it, but
when you're playing MLB the show, you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
yeah,
whoa.
yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, hey, listen, man, if you got it, go ahead, do what you got to do. But yeah, and then like we said, like Schwarber was that first one game, which like you said was weird to see, but
He looked
they,
decent. He looked
they
like he
looked
was pretty
decent.
quick on his feet and stuff.
Yeah,
So I'm not worried about it.
it was just funny to see. It's just like it's
Very,
like, okay,
very.
okay,
Well, he played
uh,
first on the Cubs for a little while.
and the Red Sox.
Did he play on the Red Sox too?
Yeah, yeah, a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah, I think in
jeez.
the playoffs or something. So, real quick, bring up Harvard again. Can the pitchers stop like pitching them inside like these
Yeah, dude.
lefties? Like
I see. All right. Like
that really was pissing me off, dude. I can't lie.
now, I understand that it's spring training, but was I
Yes.
yelling at some Yankees pitchers? I might have raised my voice, but I wasn't yelling like I usually do, like at Sismic Park. But like,
No,
I'm
yeah,
like, come on, man! Like, it's one thing. It reminds me, and I think every time he gets hit up and in, I think of when Snell hit him,
yeah. That was so annoying.
on the hand when he broke his finger or whatever, he broke his wrist or whatever it was.
Yeah,
Like, don't pitch me in there. Like,
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
throw it. Don't throw it over the plate like a meatball, but like, just make it hittable or just try and pitch around it. Don't get so high and tight. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
saying they did it on purpose, but they were
No.
hitting guys like crazy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the Toronto pitcher, like he seemed like he was kind of like he didn't mean to, and like I knew that.
Yeah, you could tell like right
But
away.
it's just like I'm like, dude, like that is the last thing I need to happen
Oh
right
my
now.
god,
It's
yeah.
just send me to a downward spiral. It's like our all-star first baseman, down the beginning of the season. But they
Well,
said
it's
he was
fun.
fine.
It's
So
funny. So I was listening in the car when we were driving around down in Florida, and
mhm.
it was before we had gone to any games, and Gabby had nodded off or something. I was like, oh my god, they hit Harper. They hit him in the arm. They hit him in the arm. What are they? And it said like bruised tricep. I'm like, okay, like he's
Yeah,
probably gonna
yeah,
be okay. And then the next day we saw him and he was off. And he's like walking around and Gabby goes, I think he looks fine. Cause he was like throwing, he was doing everything. He
yeah.
was okay. But
Well,
it was smart to keep him out a day because it's not like he's gonna
yeah.
play 3 days in a row, but still.
it was funny because it was reported like after he got hit, like he like instantly like left it like the ballpark
Yeah,
apparently and
right,
started
right.
driving to Clearwater. Like
That's hilarious.
it's just like okay, bro just wanted to get out of there. Like he wasn't
That's
even
a that's like when John Kruk retired. When he got the did you ever hear about that?
I did not know.
So he had a this is a quick side tangent on John Kruk.
Okay,
He
go
had a
ahead.
bet with his teammates. There was
Okay.
one guy, I forget who it was, but he goes, "If you're getting traded, I'm out of here. I'm gonna retire."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and they were trying to figure out funny ways that he could retire. And the guy goes, "What if you just got a base hit and walked off?" And like that was it.
Yeah.
So he was like, "You know what? Screw it." He goes, "I'll do it." Next 3 games, he goes over. And he's like, "You got to be kidding me! Like I'm never gonna retire at this rate."
Yeah, yeah.
So they went down to Baltimore, where he's like, and he's from around there. He's from like Virginia and stuff, or West Virginia,
Mm,
wherever it is.
yeah.
And his parents came to the game, and his dad was like, "You better hit that. You better get that hit today,
Yeah.
because because he called him. And he was like, "Listen, if you see me walk off the field after I get a base hit, I'm going to retire."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Okay." So he gets the hit, and he walks off, and he actually talked to somebody on the other team, and he was like, "Is the starting pitcher the guy? Is he a good guy?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, he just throw me like a batting practice, like fastball or something." And he's like, "If I'm waving my cap, then like he's in on it."
Yeah,
He goes,
yeah,
"I'll
yeah.
talk to him." And he couldn't find him, so he's walking up to the plate, and the guy, all of a sudden, at the last second, the guy's running out, yanking his cap. And he's like, so he hits a double down the line. He runs off, and he's home, sitting, and already eating and showered. And they're going, "Yeah, we're like Harry Callis is going,
Mm.
yeah, we're told it's a groin injury, and he's day to day, but we'll we'll keep you updated." And he's just sitting there like, "I'm retired. I'm done." Like, oh, I don't
Classic.
know if it was Harry Callis. It might have been somebody else, because I think he was with Chicago. But still,
Gotcha.
regardless, it's so funny, so funny. It's
Classic
just like
Croc.
that, you get game's not over. You're already out of the stadium, out of the
Exactly.
complex.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, shout out Kruk. He returned the other day to the broadcast. Heard him for the first time, which it's always great to hear him in the booth with Tom.
L.A. was there yesterday in the radio booth. I was like, "Oh, he's back."
Yeah, exactly.
But
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So listen, like different, lineups that Thompson's thrown out there has been interesting, and it's going to be interesting to see which ones he throws out in these next couple of games. During the whole month of March. Real quick, I wanted to bring it up. It happened literally like before like most of the spring training games started. But Weston Wilson suffered a moderate oblique strain right before game started, and is reported to miss 6 weeks, which basically hurts his chances of grabbing that last bench spot. So it's really going to be interesting to see who takes that opportunity and runs away with it to get that last bench spot.
yeah, yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting. And you got guys that are out of options, like
Hmm.
Buddy Kennedy's out of options. I
Yeah.
think Weston Wilson's out of options. I think Clemens is out of options. So,
Hmm.
and those guys are getting picked up. Like maybe not Buddy Kennedy,
Yeah.
but you know, like Weston Wilson's gonna get signed somewhere.
Oh
He has a
yeah.
cycle in his big league career already.
Cody Clemens is good.
Cody
He's gonna get.
Clemens is gonna get picked up somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, but I just you have to start those guys in AAA, because if you have them up, you can't option them down.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's gonna depend. But that
Yeah.
last bench spot's gonna be interesting, man.
It is. It's unfortunate, man. I feel bad for Wilson. Like, obviously, he had a good year last year. He hit the cycle in one of the games. And, obviously going into the spring training, he probably felt like, hey, listen, like, I have a chance to run away with this, and I feel like I
Yeah,
am. And it's unfortunate. It's like right before games, you have a oblique injury. He's out six
yeah,
weeks. Like,
yeah,
man, like it's got to be a blow. So, hopefully he heals up quick and gets better, and then we'll see what happens. But like you
yeah.
said, like a lot of these guys out of options, so it's going to be
Right.
interesting to see how they juggle that. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. But
Yep.
now going off of that, so I wanted to do this, and I told you to list or come up with 3 players that have stood out to you so far. So I wanted to get into discussion of that and hear what you had to say.
All right. So do you want me to go all three, or you want to like ping pong this thing? What do you
Um,
want to do?
go all 3.
Okay. So my first guy, I feel like this is kind of obvious, is Gabriel Incones Jr.
Okay.
He's been bitten by injuries. He was a top pick in his draft.
Yep.
He's only 23 years old. He is smoking the ball right now.
He is.
Um,
Great swing.
Fantastic swing. It's silky smooth.
Yeah.
He's got the power for it and
Yeah.
everything. He's doing really good.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know what's so funny,
No, go ahead.
but
I'm sorry.
my second guy
Okay.
is Bryson Stott.
Okay.
So he's already a good player as it is,
Yeah.
but his stance from watching him comparatively from last year to
Mhm.
this year,
Yeah.
it almost looks like somebody took a 2x4
Mhm.
and tied it around his chest, like put it on his back and tied around his body, and
Yeah.
he was forced to keep his back straight. Because last year, and even you see it in the Grand Slam video when he hits the Grand Slam against the Marlins,
Mhm.
he he's almost like bent and his shoulder is like down, like it's a weird stance.
Yeah.
He seems more straight up, but his arms don't lose the same motion. And I think that comes with his injury too.
For
Like he
sure.
said, it was his elbow, right, that was hurt last year.
Yeah.
Okay, so that comes with the elbow injury and stuff, and you have to compensate for things. But I think his stance has looked awesome. And my third guy is Justin Crawford.
Okay.
He again with his stance and everything, his swing is amazing.
Yeah.
He hasn't been generating the hits, but
Okay.
the at bats have looked awesome. Just
Okay.
a couple, like a dribbler up the middle, taking a couple of pitches at a time, like stuff like that. He's not
Yeah.
going 0-2 and then and getting smoked, you know. So
Yeah.
I have a feeling by July, Gabby thinks this is Gabby's prediction. By July, he'll be up in the big leagues.
I mean,
Yeah,
if that's the case, I mean, I'm okay with that. I
I'm
listen.
fine with it. Yeah, hey,
I'm
I'm fine
also
with it.
excited for Justin Crawford, but I'm just like, I'm nervous. I'm just like, is
Yeah,
he
yeah,
ready yet? I don't know. It's
right,
just
right.
like, I don't want to rush him. Like, it's him and Aiden Miller, which, speaking of Aiden Miller, looked okay. We saw some, good things here and there, but I have seen some things on Twitter that people were saying he looks a little overpowered. So maybe that's just kind of like him trying to get used to,
Yeah,
big league pitchers and stuff like that. So I'm not like too stressed, like, oh my God, this guy's gonna be a bust. Like, I'm not really saying
no,
that, but
no,
it's just like, listen, let the kids settle in first.
right.
But yeah, hopefully, listen, if Crawford's coming up in July, it's like, okay, like this guy, you know, might be using you for a playoff run, buddy. Like, you never know.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
So, all right. Listen, I respect I respect the three players. It's good. Mine's gonna be a little crazy. At
Oh
least for
no.
one of the choices, it's gonna be a
Oh
little like
man.
surprising you, and
I
I'll
have a
explain why.
feeling that I know who it's gonna be, but
Yeah, you might, you might, but okay. So I'm not gonna rate them and like I had them like 1, 2, 3, whatever. But so I'll just start off. I had the same one as you for the first one. Gabriel Rincon Jr. Really has stood out. Obviously, you've heard his name multiple times over these last couple of games. Swing looks great, hitting these homers. And his story's good. Obviously, like you said, like he's been battling injuries the last couple of years, and now it's kind of like, all right, he's healthy at this point of spring training. He's been able to show off a little bit, which is good. And who knows? Like he could be there at the end competing for one of the bench spots. So we never know, we don't know. We still got another month or so, or a couple
yeah,
weeks at least until
yep,
officially regular season. But it's gonna be interesting to see, and hopefully works out for the kid. So we'll see.
yeah. I agree.
Next up for me, Jesus Luzardo. Obviously, we talked about it earlier. Everybody was excited to see him pitch, and like I said, he looked great. Pitches looked really strong, and I'm just listen. If he ends up being our third or fourth guy, you never know. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd be okay with it. But yeah, just the velocity looked very strong, and it's almost like he was out there like pitching to prove something. If anything,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Just out there with power against,
yep,
granted some of the, Boston AAA guys, but hey, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? It's good to see.
The
Good
top
sign.
three Boston prospects, really.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
he almost outpitched Crochet, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Crochet looked awesome, but
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's
I
interesting to see
think
him
he
pitch.
was more consistent than Crochet was.
For sure.
Just in my personal opinion. No bias, of course.
No, yeah, for sure. Okay. And then my third guy. This is gonna throw you off. And people are probably gonna laugh at me, which is okay.
Oh no.
Christian Arroyo.
Oh, okay. That's not who I was gonna guess.
He has
That's good. He's second on the team
kind
in
of
hits,
looked
by the
good,
way.
man.
Second on the team in hits.
Yes. and he drove in some runs. It's just like the swing looks good. He's had a homer,
Yeah,
and he showed some power with that swing, and it's just like, listen, he was like a last minute non-invitee, so
yeah,
he was kind of just like, okay, we picked him up, whatever, and he's had some spurts with the Red Sox, last couple of years, but I'll tell you something, man, a guy like that can really fly under the radar, and if he does make the roster, he really could be a plus for this team, and
yeah.
that's why I was just like, hey, sometimes those names stick out, and I'm like, okay, we've seen spurts before, maybe he can do it again. You know what I'm saying? He's
Right.
got maybe not too much pressure on himself. He's obviously competing with some other high names, whatever. So but yeah, I was like, listen, man, it seems okay right now with that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been solid. He's been
Yeah.
solid for sure. And he was playing third, I believe, on Thursday.
Okay.
So he was doing pretty good over there. He was doing pretty good over there. So
Hey, man.
I'm curious to see what these last bench spots are going to be like.
I know. I know, dude.
It's gonna be a heck of a race.
It is. It is. Yeah, like I said, we still got obviously a couple more weeks of spring training games to go. There's going to be a lot more different things that we see that we
Yep.
started off with so far. And like we said, obviously, like the main guys, the main core, obviously, hopefully start ramping things up soon, and you know, start to get in the rhythm here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love March. I love this time of year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm getting, spring training's here finally. We're
Yeah.
seeing players. I'm getting back into the mode of like watching every game. I've literally watched
Yeah.
every spring training game that I could or listened to. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? That was
Yeah.
on TV, but
I, I'm counting how many games I watched
yeah,
slash listened to this year.
for sure. Yeah, yeah,
That's where I am
yeah.
right now.
Got to, man. You got to.
But it's such a fun time of year.
It is.
Like, and I think going down, I know, surprised I've been to spring training. I've said it like a million times on this episode already, but
It's okay.
like being around it, it's
Yep.
like now I just can't wait. Like it's gonna be awesome.
For sure. For sure.
I haven't forgotten last year, but I've forgiven them for the most part. Let's just get this thing going, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude,
Let's get it going.
I've already heard like, obviously people bashing them, still high off the Super Bowl, which I get. So people are really not
Oh,
caring
of
much
course.
about it.
Oh yeah.
But it is what it is. And dude, I sent you the video. What was his name? Broads on
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
WIP.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Shout out
yeah,
to
yeah.
him. I mean, he's very
Hunter
well
Brody.
known.
Yeah,
Yeah, Hunter Brody,
he's the
and
man.
he was going off on that one WIP caller who was apparently calling, that we're never gonna win anything with Bryce or whatever, and all this other stuff. And it's just like, there's fans like him where I'm just like, dude, like, can you stop? Can you not just get on a call and just start like
I
putting
know.
out just stupid shit? Like it's just annoying, man.
I
It's so
know. I
annoying.
know.
And I'm just like, hey, listen, just we know they came up small last year, and we'll see what happens this year, man. Like, just
Yeah.
be along for the ride, dog. That's all I'm saying. Okay, you're either in, you're out, dog. So don't
Right.
don't be in the middle of the season. And be like, all right, I'm here. Like no. Okay,
Right, right, right.
start
Yeah,
from the
no.
beginning, or I don't want to hear nothing from
It's
you.
a
So
John Morant thing. Stay on that side.
yeah, exactly. So yeah. So far, pretty good for spring training. And I'm excited to see some other games along the way. So I'm gonna announce it now, not who it is, but we will be live March 16th with a special guest. We will probably let all you guys know as it gets closer to that date. We're really excited for this. It's gonna be
Very excited.
a fun episode, very detailed, and a lot of discussions, I
Give
think.
me a lot of
So
in-depth stuff, I think.
for sure, yeah, we're excited about it. He's also very excited about it. So I mean,
It's
it's gonna be,
me. There you
yeah.
go. That's your hint. It's
That's the
me.
first hit. That's the first hit. There you go. Look, I'm giving out hints. That's it. That's all you'll
Yeah,
get.
right, right.
So yeah, I mean, other than that, like I said, studio will. I mean, I think you're gonna be coming over Sunday, and we're
Yep,
gonna do some
yep,
practice in
yep.
the studio here, and
Yeah,
who knows? I mean, maybe have an in-person shoot soon. Drop. Maybe we'll see.
that'd be cool.
We'll
That
see.
would be
We're
cool.
gonna talk about it, but yeah. Other than that, I mean, you got anything else?
No, no, I'm good. I'm really excited for the season.
Yep.
I think the pod's gonna have a good season.
Yep.
It's gonna be the first season where we can really spread our wings
For
and
sure.
do this comfortably.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Last year it was kind of testing some stuff out, but uh, I'm really excited for this season.
Me too. Yep. Got some more spring training games to go, and then regular season. So we'll keep
Yeah,
everybody
thank God.
updated on some anything that news or whatnot regarding us or the Phillies. So we'll keep
Yep.
you guys updated. But
All right. Go Phils.
go Phils! Out of here. Peace.